Welcome back to the channel. We have a topic for a pick a card, pick a crystal reading for you today of who do you think you are? Yet another fun one that Spirit is sending me on a wild goose chase to try to work out as we go. I was reassured that we don't need to do any sort of work prior to, just going into the reading and taking cards. So that's exactly what we'll do. We have 3 groups. We have group 1 with the blue tiger's eye. It's kind of hard to see in this light with the bluish tinge, but we're just working with what we've got. The clear quartz and the pyrite. So whichever group that you feel the most drawn to, timestamps are in the description box. If you get the better part of the way through reading, it's not resonating with you, don't make it fit. These are general readings only. You can always try another group, and we will get started with group 1. Okay, welcome in group 1. If you chose the blue tiger's eye, then this is going to be your reading today for who do you think you are. A very weird topic. I don't really have a lot of an understanding of where this is going to go, so we're just going to run with it and trust that Spirit will sort of string it all together for us so that we have the answer that they are, the messages are being put forward that they want to. That being said, I was definitely feeling like there is a person here that you are ignoring. Even if you're not currently ignoring them, you may have come out of a period of ignoring them, or you've just gone into one, something like that. Like there's somebody here that you are ignoring. And there's some sort of validation here. So whether this is you finding your own sense of validation or somebody else has helped you in finding this sense of validation, it feels like you are no longer ignoring yourself. So there could have been something here where maybe for a long time you ignored like your own needs, your own, just like reality. And I actually mean that with the like utmost kindness. I like genuinely being caring. Where maybe you put other people's realities first, or it gives me qualities of a person who could be quite mutable, could be quite accommodating, could be very go with the flow, happy to fit in here and do what they can to kind of contribute or something like that, or nipping and tucking parts of themselves away to kind of just keep the peace, like not rocking the boat. And it's not even like, I know the people-pleasing thing, there are times where it blurs the lines and kind of can stem on, like, manipulation, right? Because it kind of is the same thing. This just feels like, like, I don't really want to get too much into the details of it, but it just feels like you have been expected to live in other people's shadows, and not even in a way of look at me, I want the attention. I mean, that could be there too. This feels like people have wanted you to just slot in with them and their story, like their narrative, their frame of whatever the given situation is, to just go along with it, to accept their reality, even if it is like in just downright untrue, or very inconvenient for you and your reality and what you're dealing with. And there is something here where it's like you may finally be, I don't know, different things for different people here, because we have some people here where it's like you're finally acknowledging your own reality, and that being the case, you're like ignoring these people or this person or situation, right? For others of you, it's like, I don't know, we could have some people here where you are being ignored, and it's like, oh, I just, you know, it just comes out too many times in some of these readings where I feel like we have like, you know, the collective that I'm like trying to speak to, you know, exactly everything we just had first come out. And then I always feel like there's like a second energy here that it's just like, so it's like, who do you think you are, right? It's sort of like, and you know, I get people here on both sides of this, right? So when I'm doing these videos, I need to try to be mindful that, like, you know, the one exact situation is not just going to be like an exact replica for like however many people end up watching these videos that actually resonate with it, right? Like, it's not one shoe fits all, even though fundamentally there might be certain things that do. There are definitely people here that would be like, you know, totally maybe unrelated to your situation that you're experiencing on the other side of it, unless you know that you both are likely to come to readings like this. Then, I mean, I would also take this as confirmation that if you know you have a person that would happen with, that you could both be here if you know, or like that would, I wouldn't say we're raising an eyebrow to paranoia here. I would say if you know, you know, and we'll leave that there. Where I feel like I'm talking to this collective, it's very genuine, where like this is like big first time realizations. And then we have the second energy, and it's like they basically mimic your situation, play the victim card. They're trying to take up all the fucking air in the room, and I'm just like, I can't. It's so frustrating. Like, you're coming in on another person's reading, and so maybe for some of you this is the inverse, and it's like the question is rhetorical from spirit, like, who do you think you are? It's really hard to say, and I just, you know, I don't really want to be the person sitting here doing these readings where I feel like I'm just having to tell people to like quit their shit. Like, why can't you just move on in life? Like, I know that life isn't always perfect, and it isn't always what we want it to be, and I understand at this point in my life that not everybody thinks the same, you know, just the same way people can project their own shitty behavior onto others and negative intentions, people can project their own kind of innocence onto other people and fucking fall into stupid traps. And it's so like frustrating and belittling. It's such a waste of space and time and energy, and I just can't fucking think of anything worse, like anything like that. There's like a million things that I would rather do than sit here and lecture someone on this shitty behavior. So like, if you know that you're like the first, in reference to the first person, that first energy that I'm getting when I'm talking about this, you know, maybe it's helpful for you. I've seen this happen with like readers, like when I used to watch a lot of readings where, you know, yeah, you might get both sides come through, but sometimes it's for you to witness somebody else who's like totally unrelated to the situation kind of weigh in and be like, no, this is enough. This is no, on all in every way, no. Like, I don't know, like, there is like a validation here, not that you necessarily need of it. Maybe some of you, it will kind of be confirmational validation. I can't, man. Of just all the things in life that we have to worry about and deal with. Like, life is hard enough. Why? So, like, like the who do you think you are? Like, I think this would be a person who needs to go sit in a quiet corner in a room for like 3 years and just think real hard about it. Have a good look in the mirror. Sit down and have some quiet time where there is no agenda, where your ego is not getting in the way. Maybe you just need to look at how you're reacting through the day to day and realize like what even is ego. It's like so, and I just feel so stupid. It feels so rich to be human sitting here saying this, because like we all have ego, right? We all come up out of it, but at some point you have to take accountability. And if you can't do it, I can't do it for you, no one else can. People are just going to wipe their hands clean of you and they're not going to deal with it. They're not going to put up with your shit. You're going to have to find somewhere else to go with someone who will. And eventually, you know, people have memories and people live a long time now. It's not like, you know, in caveman days where people would be dead by 30. People live a long time now and they will remember. I can't spell it out for you. And if you just, like, I just don't even understand why you would be at my channel unless you're like genuinely starting to have this realization and actually want to make a change. Or maybe you don't get it. Maybe you don't understand. Maybe you haven't had the realization yet. And this is like the first you're hearing of it. And you may be questioning which side of this that you actually really fall on. And, you know, you owe it to yourself to go and do some introspective work and work out where you actually sit within this. And for those of you, because I feel like you've probably been gaslit a lot into thinking that you're the bad guy. So that very first group of people, if you resonated with that like first couple minutes that I was talking about, like you could have been just dismissed, invalidated, gaslit, so much to the point that you could genuinely become confused over time with like this trying to be so responsible and internalize everything, and it's like you're the complete opposite, and it's so like you've done all the work and a million times more. Like it's not the same. You're not like, it has to hurt, right? It has to hurt. I think for a lot of you, that's going to answer the question. Do you hurt when we talk about this? Do you hurt when you hear these things? Do you hurt when you think about them? Is there a level of like acknowledgement or validation in this that you haven't felt seen or heard from anybody else? Probably because the people that have been around you have been the people that have been this way to you. So it would be a little bit disillusioning, and it would be genuinely really raw to experience. All right. I just have to let you all know that it gives me a headache. Like, maybe some of you have gotten a headache from these scenarios, right? Like it's hard work. It's annoying. No one wants to deal with it. It's like at the end of a day's worth of painful existence at best. I don't know if that's true for all of you, but it feels like I'm meant to say that. It feels channeled. That like the last thing you need is some asshole who's just letting it all fly today because clearly that's what's needed, right? To tear us down, to just no more, no muss, not doing it anymore. All right. So with that being said, what else have we got here? I'm just hearing like take a stand. Like I literally looked at like the King of Wands and I think this is Page of Cups, Queen of Cups, Page of Cups, Queen of Cups. And I was like fire and water. And it's like, you know, normally I think of like fire and water with the steam thing. It's making me think of a pot on the stove that's about to boil over. Like the bubbles are going to start lifting the lid and the steam's going to come out and that boiling hot water is just going to go over the edges onto the stove and just burn up everything, and just the sizzling and the smell and all of it. I just have to say, It doesn't matter what side of this you're on. I mean, maybe it does. This could genuinely be affecting your health. Dealing with shitty people like this, having to stress about it, being a person, maybe if you're on the other side of this and you're like spending this much time and energy getting so caught up in all these things that probably have nothing to do with you, but you've got to make them about you, just to be clear, that it's like, I don't see how spending that much time and energy focusing on these things could be anything other than productive. Anyway, but what I do see here is this taking a stand. It's like acknowledging the emotions, and it is the taking action, and it is the standing. It's like the standing up straight, like having like a backbone and standing up tall. I'm not faltering for anyone, and I like taking a stand. And I actually think that this is going to help. I think this is, I don't know how this is going to roll out, right? What I'm feeling is that you may have ignored a lot of these people's kind of treatment, or like maybe, like, let's pretend, maybe you never thought you were that confident, right? Maybe you were. Maybe you didn't really understand confidence. Maybe you had some sort of like self-esteem issues, or maybe you were just kind of self-conscious, or maybe you had a bit of anxiety. And I don't know how to explain the contrast between, you know, both being able to embody the two things at once, right? Because you could be confident yet also have anxiety, and yeah, they could kind of affect each other at times. But like, let's just pretend you were like a really naturally confident person, but for whatever reason you thought that you weren't. And when people would say stuff to you, and it might have been like a sneak diss, it might have been like a bit of a pretend playful jab, but like maybe like pretend playful kind of banter that it was like dressed up as, but really it was actually a down low jab or something like that. Like whatever the thing is, right? Just like a lot of whatever that is, I actually think that you just don't understand whatever it was you embodied, right? It's very strong, it's very powerful. Other people don't like it. People will just take shots just to take shots, just to see if they can make you falter. It's almost like a game. Who can, like, you know, it's weird because I feel like when I was growing up, I would see people take shots at people who were like the weak link, as in like they weren't going to kind of hit back or anything like that. I feel like you would be the opposite. You might conflate yourself with being the weak link, but you're not really. It's just that you're actually kind of the opposite, but maybe you didn't really like clap back or something, so people would continue to try. And I actually think there's something here where the way that you handled your situations, even though you may have felt like at the time you missed an opportunity for a comeback, or you didn't see it and you felt really dumb or embarrassed that you at one point in time didn't understand, or genuinely surrounded yourself by people you genuinely thought like were your friends or something, or maybe it was just all kind of superficial and it really was funny, but like you were really friends, and it was just kind of this whole thing of like ignoring their behaviors or something. But it was like, it's because you took it on the chin like a champ. And yeah, anyway, and I think there's something here to say, whatever this whole thing has been about, this for a lot of you could have been just like a thing that's been playing out over your life if it's not resonating for a specific situation. That it's like, I actually feel like you're very in your power in this energy, and spirit is giving you the reassurance and the kudos that you are not reacting. I actually feel like a lot of you could have definitely had people try to like do the reactive abuse thing, like pick at you, low blow, boom, in public, and like try to get a big reaction, right? And we've talked about it before if you have been watching my videos for a little while, where that's why it can be important not to kind of lose composure, because if people can control your emotions like at the drop of a hat really easily like that, then you're kind of at the whim of whatever it is that they throw your way. And I think, I don't know, we don't need to go down that track. I feel like it's getting too off topic. It's going places we don't want it to go. Anyway, my point is, I feel like you're probably standing pretty tall, pretty strong. And I think you would have to have seen this fieriness about yourself, even if you don't generally consider yourself a fiery person. I think there's something here where that's where your abundance lies. There's something here, and that's when you take the stand, if you haven't already, you might be on that path. Like you've maybe already started to take the stand and it's all in progress and stuff. When you start stepping into this and living up to it, this is when the abundance is going to happen for you. Okay? And I don't know, like, you know, we've all heard 10,000 times before if you've watched any number of picker cards. It's not necessarily always just like financial gain. Although for a good chunk of you, I feel like this could look like even just stepping into, you know, if you had like a entrepreneurial sort of business or something like that, this would be like stepping into that role and really owning it and being a powerhouse or a driving force behind it, something like that. Or stepping into like a leadership role and kind of killing it in some sense, right? So if you were, I don't know, like in a management position or something like that, I do actually kind of see, now that we're looking at this could definitely, I don't know, some of you could be a little bit younger, or this a person that you're dealing with. It's hard to say, right? Sometimes people come through as younger, but really they're just immature. So, you know, take what resonates there. But I do feel like part of this, you taking a stand here, even if it's not to do with like, you know, wisdom and gained through experience in life or just being older in general, this actually could just be like a maturity, right? It's like, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're a little bit older, it doesn't matter. It's like you taking this stand is part of your like leveling up. This is part of you stepping into your power. This is part of where you're at, where you're meant to be. And I think there's something really beautiful here about the fact that you are giving yourself permission. I think sometimes, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how popular it is. I know maybe for where I grew up, it can definitely be. It depends really on the family structure, right? And we talk about the fourth house a lot here, like the early childhood roots and all of that sort of stuff. And maybe you were not, maybe the fire was pushed into your shadow, fiery aspects could have been pushed into your shadow because they were not like accepted within the family unit or something like that. And so for you to be a person who would kind of stand up for yourself, who would have a bit of ferocity, who would, you know, have a backbone, or who would have their say or be self-directed and all of that, maybe that wasn't okay. But also maybe you're a person who had like a lot to give, and maybe there's just like a lot of passion. Like it's when it's kind of amalgamated or like melded together or something, and it's like the two come together, and it's like very, very powerful. Anyway, okay, so who do you think you are? So I mean, I think we've talked a lot about different characteristics here. I think some of you could think of yourself as a force to be reckoned with. I do get an analogy here of like beauty as well. So it's kind of like a bit of a mix between, there's also a temper. Is it temper or temperament? Temperament. So there's like a balanced quality, a beauty mixed with some type of strength. But it's like, if you mix them together, it almost feels like a divine beauty that comes through the strength in some way. So only you will know what that looks like for your situation. Group 1, this is everything that I have for you in this one. It was a bit of a different one. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys, and I'll see you all in another reading. Take care. Okay, welcome in group 2 if you chose the clear quartz, and this will be your reading tonight. Theme of the reading is who do you think you are? Yeah, another fun one that Spirit has thrown our way, and we will see what we get. So I do feel like group 2 is potentially the inverse of group 1 for those of you, if you did already watch group 1 and it resonated for you, or you already felt drawn to it. By all means, check it out, and hopefully that will kind of cross over for you and make sense. Doesn't have to be the case for everybody though, and just remember with these readings that they are general in nature. It's not necessarily your exact situation with everything that comes out. For a personal reading, you can always email to book a session. So with that being said, it looks like you guys have definitely left some sort of a situation here. I feel like this would have been not the choice you wanted to make, but the hard choice you had to make. And I feel like you've maybe landed somewhere that you haven't really navigated before. And so whether this is landing in, it could be a different town or a different suburb or city or something like that. I don't really know. It could be a different location, okay? But I mean, I feel like for most of you it's a different location, but if it's not a different location, it could just be like a different stage of life that's kind of like a new chapter is what I feel like we've like, you know, just randomly stumbled our way through one section of life, come out the other end, and we're like kind of just like popped our heads out from behind the clouds and we're like, hello, we're here, we're like ready for the next part of life. And you're kind of looking around and it's like, maybe it's just you in this like weird place that you've never been before. Even if you've been there for 6 months, maybe you're still settling in. I'm not really sure what that looks like for you. You know, and there's like a renewed sense of energy here or something like that, a renewed sense of, there's like some sort of motivation here. So even if you don't really have a specific direction that you're headed in, for a lot of you, I think you probably do. For some of you, this could be that like moment where you're kind of working it out as you go. But there's definitely a new point of navigation. But it does, thankfully, feel like there was that kind of renewal in switching up in the different types of energies. It's like a lot of that having to make stressful decisions or hard choices, or like just a crazy mental load and stuff. I don't know, some of you might still kind of be there a bit like residual kind of hangover feeling, right? But I think for the most part, there's potential, there's a lot more room for focus of something new here. Or you've got like a focus, you've got something in sight. I don't know if you're like waiting for it or if you're about to take the step or something. Do you know what this makes me think of? Like as an example, right? Is that maybe you have your eye on like a specific course, but the course doesn't start until like a month's time. But you're like there ready waiting. Maybe you're like all signed up and you're kind of waiting at like on the sideline or the start line, maybe on the sideline waiting for like your turn or something like that for the, you know, the current course that's in action to finish, and then your course will get to start and you'll get to move up to the start line and give it a go, okay? So it actually feels cool. Not that it's a race, and not that it has to be like an academic thing or anything, but because for some of you it could be quite a creative pursuit. I don't yeah, we'll just leave that there. I do think there is some type of element here, though, of wanting to be, I don't know, what is it? I just feel like that kind of hangover, that how I mentioned there could be like a bit of a potential like sort of residual hangover from whatever the old situation was, that you could still just be dealing with the mental process of how to deal with people or situations like that. So what I need to clarify is the Five of Swords part of who Group 2 thinks they are, or somebody else? Somebody else. Okay, cool. Is that who they think Group 2 is? No. Okay, it's who they think they are. All right. So this almost feels like that first part was maybe who you think you are, and that this next part is who they think they are. And it does give me a little bit of like a superiority, like a complex or something like that, or having an agenda, wanting to win, not caring about winning at the cost of others kind of thing. Just like false niceties, all in the name of like stitching someone up. And it's kind of like, I do get some sort of weird trajectory here. I don't know how to totally explain it, right? I see you at different places, and somehow on your path, let's just pretend that these first two cards are your cards, okay? This is you. And then it's like your trajectory is to just go straight, okay? There's this person, somehow you end up finding yourselves heading the same direction on your path, and then it's like you guys colliding causes some type of like big tower moment. So I would say that this person, you're going to come into contact with someone who's going to cause a tower moment, and it's through those types of characteristics that I mentioned. So I think that this would be like the universe prepping you for some sort of, I want to say potentially like an altercation. I don't see it as being like physical or anything like that. I just feel like this could be more of like a mental mind games, or like trying to say snarky things, or like social kind of injustices. Give me one moment. I just want to see if we want another candle, because I feel like it's starting to get darker very quickly. It just got very dark very quickly there. Yeah, so it's like whoever this person, I feel like this is someone who you had done your best to kind of move away from or not have to deal with or something. Maybe you thought you'd finished dealing with them. Maybe there's something here where it's like, I don't know, is that even right? No, that should be better. It just seems inevitable that your paths are going to cross at some point, okay? So it's like, I do think, even with messages like this though, oh, do you know, I'm getting that song, it's like, we didn't start the fire. Yeah, okay. I'll see if I can link that for you guys. It just sort of seems like one of those things that if you just focused on what matters to you and what's fun and what your passion is, or whatever this like new phase that you're in is, there's something here where it's like, I think you actually kind of feel quite confident in this energy, and that when there's like, I don't know if you guys would be the type to really worry about stuff in general, but maybe something about this personal situation that you left or whatever could be the type of thing that might make you, I don't know, I just feel like you're pretty determined and focused, and you know, you've got your attention and energy other places, right? It does give me a strong sense of confidence here, like kind of unshakable. It's like I've got my purpose or my mission, or I'm gonna go do this, and it's just like you're just on your path, and it's like here's old mate worrying about everybody else, because why would they not worry about everybody else, except for themselves? Heaven forbid they worry about themselves. And I think you're just gonna have some. Let's get. I want more. Maybe more information about. Maybe I should spread out some of the light and see if that helps. More information on this tower moment. Like, this is meant to be who do you think you are, right? So could just be a person who has the ability to get out of tricky situations. They could also be a person who maybe had to leave a family, or maybe you're a mother, or you had to leave a mother, or something like that. There could be something here too where you're actually incredibly loyal, also incredibly well-rounded, quite strategic, good on your feet, like kind of quick in a moment. I did talk about confidence already. This is like having a plan, having a direction, having the ability to take action, being kind of fiery enough to back it up and all the stuff. You could be quite health conscious or focused. There could be something about you where you see yourself as a tower moment to other people, but there's actually something here where I think you help solidify harmony for people in some way. And it might be the most unexpected of way. And the way that I'm getting this analogy come through as if there was like fireworks in the sky, and it's like you think you're the firework and that you're going to blow something up, or someone's going to get hurt, or it's going to be too loud for people, or it's going to be too much for people or something. But then the fireworks go off and it's like everybody's favorite part of the night, like in an event coming together, right? And then everyone like kicks off and has such a great time, and they like all watch in awe. Like everyone watches in awe of the fireworks because it's just so magical, and you could just like, how did mankind ever make such a thing, right? Anyway, and yeah, okay. That being said, tell us about this tower moment. This is interesting. I think this whole new journey will probably be quite healing for you, and you'll unpack a lot. It could be quite painful, but also, I don't know, maybe it's like a nourishing kind of nostalgic thing. I just think there's something here where you step into your like authenticity. There's a lot of leadership here. But this is also like it's like you've taken it all in, you've waited. You could be feeling stuck although. So you could be feeling stuck in a time of healing, like you haven't quite really come out the other end yet. But I actually think that there's something here about this process or this time that helps you in the future be very effective at whatever it is or everything that you do. Like, after this time, you're oriented in such a way that when you take action, when you make progress towards something, things are just happening for you constantly. Sorry if that was really loud, by the way. I feel like it came out a lot louder than I kind of thought it would. I think it's going to have a lot of power behind it and almost take on a life of its own. I had this 6 of Wands card kind of pop out before, and I just like kept shuffling past it, and it's come out yet again. And I have to say, for some of you, that you could be quite scared of some type of success. Or if you're not scared of success, you might be scared of, like, I just got like the Tupac song of like all eyes on me. So you could be scared of all eyes on you, a lot of attention, or like it feels like not even one-on-one attention. This feels like the attention of many. So this definitely could be a group where, like, you know, this could be a group where you have some sort of like wide internet reach, like an audience, for example. It could also be something to do with being revered or known by many. A little bit of fame or notoriety here, definitely notoriety for sure. This could be like overcoming challenges or something, but I actually don't see this as overcoming a challenge, even though that was kind of a bit of like where you come from. I feel like you've already overcome the challenge, but what it feels like is that there's some type of like level up challenge for you here where you actually become this like very successful person, very revered person, or admired person in some way. Again, a lot of leadership here as well. So for some of you, this could be stepping into a leadership role that you don't want to. You could be scared of it. It could shake up your world. Like some of you may know that when that moment finally hits and meets, that it's going to blow shit up. You're not going to be ready for it. You're probably scared of it, anxious, stressed. I don't know. Maybe it's not that deep. Maybe it is. Maybe you just want to dig your head in the sand and just pretend it doesn't exist, or it's not happening, or it's not edging closer, or maybe you're just hoping, like maybe the boat comes in and you just don't dock. Maybe you're happy to stay kind of in this like healing phase forever, but there's something here. I just got like break the internet. So for some of you could literally just, you could go viral, and that's not really a message that I get come through a lot here. So maybe I've got some bigger channels coming, like watching. So I mean, welcome if you are. Welcome everybody anyway, but you know, it would be kind of cool, I guess. I just, all right, we're going to leave that. Do we want more cards? There is also with this, who do you think you are? So there could be like references here to having clarity, having clean energy work, definitely astrology. All right, this is going to be a bit weird, but bear with me. So I was getting something about like the hair tenure. And so the length of the hair to me is like an extension of like your energetic, auric, ethereal kind of body, right? And like an antenna, some people would reference it. And there is something here where like the longer the hair, I guess the longer that the more energetic body may be or something, okay? And I know that not everyone's going to subscribe to this, and that's okay. You know, we all like have our own kind of beliefs and stuff. But what I was trying to get at is there is something here about maybe you are reaching a point of tenure in whatever your given field is. And if it's not like an amount of time amounting to, you know, some sort of experience, it's like, it's just a level up. It's like a connection like none before, like no other. Everything's going way too quiet for me, and it's really windy here, and I want another candle, and I don't want to wreck the reading, but I feel like we're getting close to wrapping it up, and it's way too dark, and my battery's running out. Well, it's not as dark as I thought it was on the screen. No, we need the candle. Why? I do feel for some of you, if you like work with like, you know, essential oils or resins and stuff, that like frankincense would be a really good one. I do feel like there's some sort of weird, I don't know, it's like a need for an energetic cleanse, and I just feel like it's just, I got this with one of my last readings too, where I was getting like the word voyeurism come through. So I just want to really quickly, for those of you that kind of align, I mean, you know, have that shared experience of touching on topics of like monitoring spirits and people, what is it? There's a card out of the, what's the T? It's like divination abuser or something. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take another card. proactivity, expression, doing, and forward motion. Yang. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what this is. Oh, 8th house. Transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies. Guys, this is a lot of exactly what I was talking about. This is definitely confirmation. I'm actually super stoked those cards came out. I feel like sometimes when I take the cards, I'm like, okay, yep, next. But this is, yeah. But look, it always comes with some sort of, you know, people creeping around or people paying attention or peering in. But I mean, that creeping card's also good confirmation on that whole voyeurism thing as well, right? Because it could just be a person keeping tabs on you on the internet. Yeah, fake smiles. I don't want to. I feel like maybe we won't go into, do we need to? Is it helpful? Is there more that they need to know? I don't know. I think there's going to be some people around you who are going to pretend to be happy for you when you blow up. But they're not really going to be. I think it's like a classic, like they wished it was them or something like that. And maybe like for some of them, they're not directly jealous of like you yourself, but they're actually just more sad about the fact that it's like not them, if it kind of makes sense. Like it's a bit more like where like I wish that was me. So I guess it's not all super like sad, I mean bad, but they're not playing hard to get, they're playing not that into you. Don't romanticize confusion. You deserve clear intentions, not mixed signals with a smug smile. You're the prize, not a puzzle. I feel like that spirit just saying that if you can feel an ingenuity, I don't know if I'm even speaking real words right now. If you feel like people are being fake with you, or if it's not a fakeness, like there's a lack of, you know, just being genuine, then I would take it as a sign. Like if you feel like, oh, they're so nice or whatever, but like, you know, we don't really click or something like that. Even just that on its own, like if it feels like it's more of an ambivalent connection where they don't really like invest in you a whole lot, or they don't really prioritize you a whole lot, or something, this would be like a confirmation for you from spirit to just like let it go, just let it be. I'm getting that like that song of Frozen, the little girls one. It's like let it go, let it go. Oh my god, the voice. All right, he's not a mystery. He's just avoidant, has poor texting hygiene. If his only form of communication is carrier pigeon and 2 a.m. you up text, set him free. He belongs to the streets and maybe a phone plan with unlimited excuses. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be about a man or about like a romantic partner. I mean, take what resonates, because that could be playing out here. I just feel like it's, again, people that are not like prioritizing you. They're not really like investing into you the way that you might invest into people or something like that, where it's just like, this is actually just like costing me time, energy, and attention, and it just feels a bit disingenuous. Yeah. All right. Okay. Is there anything else here for the group two, for who do you think you are? I do need to just quickly, before we round it out, there could be a little bit here where, like back a bit more on theme with the topic, where you may see yourself in some sort of like a Deathly Hallows kind of vibe. This could be just like a bit more occultist or a bit witchy or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there could be like sort of themes around death or something like that, but like alternative stuff as well. But I do feel like there is something here where you actually probably have quite good, clean, strong energy, quite energetic energy, but something about health here being good as well. So even if you don't really resonate with being, so I don't know, if you aren't like a super healthy person, maybe make healthy choices or something like that. So take what resonates with that one. But yeah, group two, it was lovely to have your company. Hopefully this is helpful and insightful to you in some way. If the video resonates and you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Otherwise, I will see you all in another one. Take care. Oh no. Okay, welcome in group 3. If you chose the Pyrite, then this will be your reading today on who do you think you are. So I was getting a song come through and it was something about like the good old days was the line. And so it looks like we have 2 people here. And it just seems like you probably never really come together. This is like not on topic for the reading, but I feel like Spirit threw me like I don't even know, I would say like a spinner in the works, but there never really was a works. It just gave me works with a spinner in it and, you know, wanted me to unpack the puzzle. But we are going to just go with whatever comes out in the cards, and then hopefully it will kind of, you know, I will trust in Spirit that the messages that you need that will align with the topic of who do you think you are will kind of be popping out as we go, even if it's not so direct. Or all right, something about a cat could be quite important if you have a cat, or you could be getting a cat, or I feel like this would be like a good cat. I don't know why I have to highlight that it's a good cat, not a bad cat or something. Anyway, so 2 people, it feels like, never really got off the ground. And, you know, one person here is the embodiment of what's supposed to be like kind of a caring person. But in all honesty, when I look at them, I just kind of see them as being like a little bit sloppy in some ways. And maybe they're just a bit of an emotional mess or something. But like, I don't know, they actually, when I look at them closer and deeper, I feel like I see a lot more like wisdom, and I actually think that they're quite intuitive. You know, so maybe they're just a bit emotionally, do you know what? I actually don't even think they're emotionally messy. I think that they're perceived that way. So just, you know, be paying attention to this as we go, because even though I said there's 2 people here and I'm not sure, I feel like these readings always take some sort of twist or turn. But if you resonate with what I'm saying, that could be part of the who do you think you are, okay? Anyway, something about bones is important. So whether this is like your actual own personal bone health, right? And if it's not that, this could be wearing things like whale bone necklaces or something like that. Bone for me is very protective and grounding. Like, kind of frankly, can't get enough bone, but also it's weird. Fun fact, I was like trying to look up, this is so weird and I can't believe we're going into it, but we are. I was looking for bones to buy online on Etsy, and I found they would like sell snake bones. I guess people like readily find snake carcasses available that they clean and kind of sell in a jar or put together for like a display thing or something. But I'm like, you know, I know that, like, I don't know, I guess whales are not dying every day, so it's probably kind of unethical to be like out there searching for whale bones. Maybe one day. maybe, I don't know. I grew up in a place where like whale bones would wash up on beaches like an hour's drive from where we lived. So like, and people would leave them there so that other people could enjoy them. And I think like, you know, this was a long time ago now, but it was like, you know, maybe even if after a couple of years they were mostly gone or something, there would eventually be like another set of whale bones. And I just, looking back, I'm like I always knew it was special. Like it's very special. Even if other people don't understand the significance of it, I wasn't always spiritual, right? I just knew it was special. But like, it would be nice to be able to have that again. But anyway, this is so weird. I know that I'm talking about myself right now, but it feels like something in what I've just described or said. There's something here like that about this person, okay? So if this was you, it could be like having some sort of appreciation for like, I guess, natural cycles of life or natural elements and things like that. And kind of, it's like a very divine, anchored, grounded connectedness with the earth, like as one. This is like everything interwoven. Like, I don't know how to explain it. There's only been like a handful of times in my life where I've really felt connected in like that. And there are always these like oddly specific, I always just remember it from the way that I would feel. And sometimes I would try to equate it to like having a nice breeze, like in an early evening or something at the right time of year, or things about like playing at the beach when we were kids, like with whale bones, like not too far from us, or exploring the caves or something like that. And there are these little moments where I was almost always immersed in nature. I was almost always calm or relaxed. It was like those moments that are so nice that you just want to stretch them and get everything you possibly can out of them. Yeah. Okay, so there could be something here, even if I'm just displaying an example of like a mentality or a love for certain things or a way that a person may speak or something like that. There could be, like with this person that I'm talking about, there could be a longingness for being grounded, or there could be an acknowledgement that they actually are quite grounded despite everything else, like, or in tandem with their, do you know how like temperance is kind of like fire and water? I kind of get this as the version of temperance between water and earth. And I don't know, like it's obviously not the same, but yeah, do we want to go too much more into it? There's something here where it's like maybe this is the place where dreams come true. And if it's not where dreams come true, maybe there's something here where it's like this is where like the wonders of the world are, like the 7 wonders of the world or something like that. It's something weird. Or like the mysteries of the world. So like things like mythical things as well. But anyway, I feel like so that kind of starting to blur the lines with like maybe touching on topics of spirituality and all that. Okay, anyway, that being said and put aside, so that's maybe one person. I feel like, you know, I've gone on this massive tangent and I'm like, it's exactly the energy that I was getting come through. I'll look at the card again and then I just look at this person and I think, God, they look like they're a little bit like on the elder side of life. And then I'm like, well, I mean, they could be, right? Maybe they just feel really worn out or something. Anyway, but if we move on, I think there's something here with this person. There is like, I don't know, the longer I look at them, it's like yeah, like they might look worn out, but it's like, it's just kind of the grey hair where it's like they still kind of look young in the face. And like when I'm seeing all these fish around the bottom in the ocean, it's like, it always makes me think of like fertile lands. Like if you had to go and live off the land somewhere naturally, like this would be a good place to live, right? But this is like speaking to like good health and stuff. So I don't know. Take what resonates with this one, guys, because this could be a bit all over the shop. But anyway. So all that being said, in a bag of whimsy, we've got this other person here who seems like a work in progress. And keep in mind, this could be like two parts of yourself, but I feel like for most of you, it's actually two people and it's a situation that never got off the ground. So this person who's a work in progress, they could be like focusing on all the good fundamentals of self-development in life that are very tangible, that are like goal orientated, and they can actively take steps towards and make progress in, and they are seeing the results over time. And this is things like the eating healthy, the exercising, the, finding what works for our bodies, getting enough sleep. If there's supplements, you do the supplements. If there's, this could be like a person who would do like ice baths or getting massages or, I don't know, like things that are good for your nervous system, but like scientifically backed, proven, physical, tangible steps that you can take. But this is also a person who would be like, the job is sorted, right? Like they've got whatever their job is or career or something like that, where they go to work, they do their thing, they show up, like they do it well, they know what they're doing, and they just show up day after day or like working on their thing. It doesn't have to be like a specific being employed by someone, but you have like something that you're working towards, okay? And I feel like it is like brimming on abundance. And I actually, sometimes people can say like Seven of Pentacles is like, needing to like weigh things up and see if there's anything you could have done better, right? I actually don't think for this person that's the case. I think that they're actually very happy with where they are, to what others may somewhat describe a mediocre life. And if it's not to do with this person being okay with that or whatever, it's like to them it's enough, or to them they don't need or want more, or like they I don't know, like they're happy doing this. It's peaceful to them. I think they get joy out of it. I think they're committed. I think they are good team players and they contribute a lot to those around them. But I think they make sure they do enough to have their own back covered, right? Obviously. And they've got a little bit extra for themselves. It's like the simple joys in life or something. But there's something here where this person may just feel like a person who they just genuinely don't need that much. All right? I don't know why I have to talk like that, but yeah. Okay, is there anything else here? No. All right, so that being said, I feel like I need to play devil's advocate here, because I could have a person who could be a little bit salty, right? And then I also have a person who could be just kind of peaceful in nature. And we did actually have those first three cards come out together. So like the King of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Devil. Just going to make sure my phone's not going to die soon. I might have to speed this up a little bit. There's something here where the two together could have been toxic, like a toxic connection. There could have been some type of like addictive behaviors in here. There also just could have been career focus at the forefront, or maybe this could have been people that work together. Like I said, people that knew each other that never really got off the ground or never really kicked it off or something like that, okay? And so maybe like one person didn't really like where they were and the other person was kind of being taken into a situation by an institution or a third party of some kind. Doesn't necessarily feel like, this doesn't feel like cheating, but also remember I didn't say it was a situation where you were ever together. If you were, it might have been like a long time ago or like very momentarily. This would be a person that you like maybe had like a bit of a thing with, but it never really got physical. Like maybe there was a person at work that you like kind of talked to a lot, or I don't know. Anyway, but then like, yeah, one person could have been like really caught up in the workplace and the other person was kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is like weird. I'm not sure if I like it, kind of thing. It makes me feel nervous or uneasy, and they're trying to tell me they want to give me ice creams, but like I'm barely getting my paycheck. I don't know. Anyway, Okay, so that being said, also I feel like if you are the person that has the cat, can you please feed your cat like better food? Like, I know that this is weird, but when I say better food, like they don't, I don't know what you already give them and what they already like and stuff, but it's like they want more fish based foods. So I don't know, like, I don't have a cat, so I don't buy cat food, right? I'm sure there are like fish flavored like wet cat foods in a tin you could buy, and if it's not that, it could be a thing where they actually appreciate or want like fresh fish or something like that. So you know your thing, you know how to best take care of your pets, but if you have a cat, your cat wants more fish type food. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I feel like you could have been in your head a lot about a situation. You also could have been going through a time in life that was like very burdensome, or something about the environment was very burdensome, or maybe having to keep up some sort of like appearance in the workplace. So it does feel a lot like a workplace thing. So take what resonates. But I also feel like while maybe some of this was going on, there was just like heavier weighing things going on in the background. Like there could have been like, for one, at least one of these people, there could have been like real problems going on in the background that like people could tell. I'm like, I'll show you what I'm talking about, right? There's this volcano in the background and all the smoke, so it's like people can see the smoke, but like the volcano hasn't erupted yet. So maybe people knew there was kind of like trouble in paradise. Maybe one of these people was in a relationship, right? But like people didn't know how bad it was, or they were starting to see the signs, but like there's no real evidence at that point, okay, until the volcano erupts and or something like that. I don't know, it's hard to say. It could have been like a signaling, because you know sometimes you get like the whole thing of like smoke signals, so it's like, I don't know, someone could have been trying to smoke signal to someone, but also I just feel like there was too much going on here. Too many distractions, too big a workload, too much being in our head, too many burdens, too many responsibilities, too much focus on like maybe the financial, like the monetary gains or the position within a company, or, you know, impressing the boss even though you think they're like a dick or something. Maybe they are, I don't know. Anyway, but also just like the head down, being focused, showing up every day, being committed. This is like, I don't know how to explain it right, because normally Seven of Pentacles is not really, it's like the beginning of a harvest, but not really enough to kind of like monetize from. Whereas the Eight of Pentacles is like the showing up every day. It's kind of like can be paid work or fine tuning a craft to where you're like making money, right? This feels like a very rich Seven of Pentacles to me. It's like, I just don't know why I'm getting it come through so rich. And I know I said that this person probably doesn't need a lot, but it feels like they already have a lot. So maybe they just don't want for more, where they're like kind of happy, or maybe it looks like that to other people. Maybe there's something like that where people are like, oh, I didn't have to work that hard, or like, oh, my phone's really gonna die soon. Maybe they're like, oh, I didn't have to work so hard, or maybe they're like, everything just comes easy to them, or they just like have no drive or ambition, but like really they're just happy. Like, would it be so hard to believe they're just happy doing what they're doing? Anyway, other people would clearly like rather work themselves into the ground, and maybe that's like part of this comparison, and we're not really meant to compare, but for whatever reason it's coming through like this, right? So part of who you think you are, I mean, you could be on either side of this, right? We could definitely have both energies here coming through in this reading. I do need to tell you that you do need to use your discernment with this one. I don't know if I really want to direct you too much unless I get something very obvious. This cat's a funny cat though. This would be like a very cheeky cat. And if it's not a cat for some of you, I like, sometimes animals do come through as like children because they're just like always around and they're little. But in a good way, right? So we also have the bar is not just low, it's in hell. Raise it like your rent depends on it. You're out here clapping because they didn't lie this time. Darling, bare minimum behavior is not an achievement, it's a baseline. So there could have been something here as to like why it never really kicked off. Because, I don't know, this person could have felt like I don't know, I mean, to be fair, they could have felt like you were a bit blinded by some sort of situation. But I think they actually could have been super nervous or scared to make a move. They could have felt very stuck or trapped within the confines, especially if it wasn't a workplace. Like they may have felt like it was not really right to make a move or something. I don't know. I actually think they're really in the head about it. They probably thought that it was unreciprocal. I think, guys, if there's an age gap here, I think they thought, they feel like the older person to me, that you wouldn't be interested because they're older or something like that, and they felt like it would just be like really hard work for you. Like, why would you be interested? They've got all these issues or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be just the older person if there is an age gap here. It could be one specific person here who feels this whole way. I mean, there could be a bit of mirroring, but I think they just thought like, oh no, why would they ever want me? Like, maybe they couldn't see, maybe this could be you, maybe you couldn't see how good you were. Like, you're not seeing yourself through others' eyes. So it's like who you think you are is like not as good as you really are. And you could have been sold a bit of a lie by the company that you were like not as experienced as you were, or you're a bit more like entry level than you are, or something like that. And if it's not that, it could have been like older peers. Is that right? I know you could have had peers that were a little bit older than you, that like maybe you didn't feel as confident as them or competent in life, or like they were more like adult, like what the adult picture looked like. I don't know. I do have to say someone here definitely could drink. I'm getting lots of references for drinking. So, I mean, maybe that could have been for one of these people. Part of a habit, right? We did talk about potentially touching on like substance use and stuff. That's not for everyone, right? Obviously not everyone coming in here is going to have that playing out, but I do feel like someone here was very like tempted by this connection, but it feels like they had two tempting choices. One was like you, or on the other side of this other person right at work, and the other one was like the work or the boss themselves. And it's like neither of them really felt like they were a choice for the right reason, but when they really, it's like they let greed get the better of themselves. It's like they let money, power kind of get the better of their choices. It was like, it didn't, I don't know. I mean, it could have to do with wanting to just be the boss or something, or just wanting to get to the top. You know, Capricorn is wanting to get to the top. And it's just what they do naturally. It's just like in their blood and in their veins, and there's like nothing else to it. And it's not even, I don't know, some people it is kind of real superficial and it is all planned out. But I mean, it doesn't even feel so egocentric. It feels like they genuinely maybe just wanted to get to the top. This could have been something that this person wanted to do to prove it to themselves. So it still sort of could have been good character building, but maybe they just got suckered in by that as opposed to something here about you that was good. They also could have had someone from the workplace telling them things in their ears about you, to sort of say that you weren't as like good as you were, or it could have been, you know, flip the energy here if that's the other way. But anyway, guys, that's everything that I have for you today for group 3. I really don't want to cut this video off too short, but I don't want the phone battery to die on me because it's getting dangerously low. You know, the only other thing I can think of here is that there's like a strong amount of willpower and knowing your own worth. These things go a long way, even if you feel a little bit battered, bruised, weathered from life, bit dinged up, right? I think there's something here where it's like you would do just fine. And those things are the characteristics that make you an individual in all the ways that this person would love if you did choose to act upon it. But, you know, we're all just people and nobody's perfect. So you would have to be, I guess, open to this other person being the exact same in all the other ways, even if you don't understand it. So with that being said, take care of yourselves. I hope that this is helpful. If it resonated and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, definitely leave the video a like, and I'll see you all in another one. Take care.